Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the REDX Podcast. We're so glad that you're joining us today. We're right in between the holidays, just got Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we're glad that you are joining us right now in this crazy time of year. We've got Janki Patel with us today. Janki, say hi to our audience here.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope you're
We,
well.
We're so glad to have you here. Now, you'll introduce yourself to everybody. Janki and I have been on several webinars together in the past on lab coats, but this is the first time that I'm in the host seat. So this is fun.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here. Just a couple housekeeping items as we get into today's topic, where we're going to talk more about ISAs and the shifting market. But this is a participatory event. So as you join us, if you have questions, throw them in the chat. Say hi to us. Tell us where you're from. And if we can get to them during the show, we will answer those questions for you. If we don't get to them during the show, then just continue that conversation on the lead gen conversation on Facebook, where we can keep talking about those strategies that we need to succeed in this 2023 that's around the corner. That's crazy.
Wow, that's so crazy. 2023 was not started in 2021, end of 2021. We're like, oh my God, here we are.
I'm still right. Sometimes I say 20, is it 2022 or 2021? And here we are. It's 2023 already. So, Janki, like I said, I already know you, but if you wouldn't mind just giving a brief introduction to everyone joining in today, that they can get to know you too.
Absolutely. So I always ask myself, where do I start with? And I always start with my story of how I got here. Years ago, I lost everything I had, my home, my 401k, my bank accounts, because of the 2008, 2009, market crashes. And I found myself sitting on my doorstep thinking, oh my God, where do I go next? Right? What do I do? And of course, the first person I call is my dad. And I said, Dad, I lost ultimately everything. That's when the bank said they're going to come and foreclose. The sheriff is on their way. And I was like, oh my God. It wasn't the best moment in my life, but it was a moment where I told myself that I will never let this day ever come back again. So I sulked, I cried, I talked to my dad, and my dad said, come on over. We have a place for you here. Come back home. And so we traveled cross country in our Odyssey van, which we still have, because that holds a lot of memories. And I came to California, got my license here, my realtor license here, and wasn't really sure if I did want to continue in real estate here. But guess what? My husband was one of those that said, "Listen, you got to do this for yourself." And so I got my license. I went to different offices, and I remember one realtor telling me that I will pay you $6 an hour. If you stamp, seal, and deliver these 800 mailers, literally 800 buyer letters or seller letters, whatever. And because I needed a job, my fingers were all cracked, and I made it happen. And that day I realized that I do have the potential to do whatever my mind puts me through, or whatever I want to accomplish in life. And so, fast forward to today, Lab Coat Agents has been biggest part of my life also. Thank you to Tristan Ahmada and Lab Coat Agents, because that's the platform that really gave me that moderating place to where I learned from a lot of people that came, and I moderated them. And just like REDX, that's where I was introduced to REDX, right? And that was one of my biggest places where I learned a lot. And I'm a learning junkie. I love to learn and grow myself in terms of my mindset and all of that good stuff. And then I started my academy because I started seeing more and more success with my business. I wanted to always give back to my real estate community. And, I wanted to teach realtors how to prospect and what my success stories with REDX were, and how I got there. And so I started writing down all my processes, and you'll see all these little books right here. These are my processing books. I write down all my processes in these books, and on and on and on I go with 5-10 books here. Anything that's in my mind, I put it on paper. And so from there, Global Solutions was born, because a lot of people were saying, hey, listen, I don't want to prospect. And as realtors, we do sometimes have that fear factor.
Yeah,
like, what if the rejection factor, right? What if they don't pick up? What if they say no, right? We're not built, some of us are not built to accept someone saying no to us, rejecting us, right? And so from there on, I decided, okay, I've learned so much. I need to start hiring an ISA. Well, the ISAs were not trained from where I hired them from. I didn't see much success. I was doing most of it. I started training them on scripts and calling REDX and circle prospecting through REDX. And I did receive a lead or two that, we closed on. This was years ago. And then, of course, we stopped. And I don't know why we stopped. But teaching others, I found that was my place to be. And that's where Global Solutions was born. And we started hiring other ISAs and we started seeing success because I was the one, and my daughter, Janki Patel, was the one, who's also a realtor, was the one who started teaching these ISAs. We have intensive boot camps for these ISAs. Now, a lot of times realtors ask me, well, where do we get the leads from? And of course, REDX is my go-to.
Of course.
Not because I'm here. It's not because, I'm doing this interview with REDX, but I had so many closings with REDX doing circle prospecting. So anytime you have active listings, pending, closing, we always did circle prospecting. And we always said, hey, we just sold 123 Main Street. It's the same script, but it is the way you say it, your tonality, your confidence, and your enthusiasm for the other caller to really engage with you and build that relationship with you. If not now, when, right? If not now, when they are ready to buy, sell, or invest, they're going to call you. So we started seeing so much progress with dialing, circle prospecting, and geofarming. In this one development, we probably got about 4 listings in 2 months. And so we said, okay, this is really working for us. And so we started focusing on training our ISA team through Global Solutions. And, that's where we are right now, is that we're seeing phenomenal success with those realtors, that have engaged with REDX, and we're seeing the closings happening. So it's a very proud moment for Mommy Dearest here to see that success happening, because I know that REDX is my lead source and my lead generation source. And now we are actually inviting other realtors to use REDX.
And I love that story. And I've heard bits and pieces of it. That was kind of all of it together for me to hear the whole thing. But I love the story because I think a lot of people are thinking or are a little fearful that the next little bit has looked a lot like the beginning of your story, right? When the market shifted and a lot of people found themselves down and out. Now, as we look at what's going on, we know that there are things that could cause fear, but the truth is it is not looking like a 2008, and there's opportunity out there.
Right.
And so I love that you went from a really tough time in 08 and built out of that, and built with some things that we talk about a lot on both of our shows about prospecting and being on the phones. But one thing I want to tell everyone that I know about Janki is that you're constantly learning and you're constantly helping others. And so that's why you're here today, because you've built that process now. And so today we're going to learn more about what you're doing right now to help others. So you did talk about the market shift in 08, and we're seeing this market shift now that's bringing a lot of fear. So people are thinking, hey, I need to cut my expenses and my costs as I look forward. People are also thinking about, I need to be on the phones and prospect more.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about what you're seeing at Global Solutions, and why, in a time when people think, hey, I need to cut costs, that considering having an ISA is a good idea. And also maybe tell everybody a little bit about ISA. I remember when I got in the industry a couple of years ago and people were like, ISA this, ISA that. I had to go home and Google hey, what's an ISA, so that I could talk to people. Yeah, exactly. So tell us more about that, and why those tuning in today, that will be listening, will be thinking about, should I be considering an ISA right now?
That's a great question. So one, let me talk to you about the market right now. The minute we started seeing a shift in the market, did you shift? Did you shift downwards or did you shift upwards? That's a question to ask yourself. So what I mean by that is that, did you shift your mindset? First, let's talk about us. Did you shift your mindset into thinking, oh, I need to cut cost right away? Or did you shift your mindset in thinking, hey, I need to gain out of this? What can I do? What people can I put in place? How can I leverage in order to get there? What do I need to do? If you're saying, okay, I'm not getting any leads anymore, well, what are you doing about that? right? Are you hiring, or are you, did you sign up with REDX? And are you hiring an ISA? If not you, who? That's a key question. If not you, then who, right? And if you're not doing it, then who else is doing it for you? And so if you're not calling circle prospecting or geofarming or FISBOs or expireds, then you better have someone in that place, which is who's called an ISA. Now, they're people, they're humans, they're not robots. We're genuine people at Global Solutions. But with Global Solutions, one thing is definitely very different and makes us different from every other VA company out there. And Robert asked me what that is.
What is different about Global Solutions?
And the biggest difference is we do hands-on training. We are actually in your CRM as a database manager. We are in your, training your ISAs through boot camp, intensive 30-day boot camp. So when an ISA is dialing for you, they come to this 1-hour boot camp and they talk to us about challenges, whether they're getting a lot of voicemails, whether they're, having problems, objection handling, whether there's problem of, people hanging up on them. What do you do when these things happen, right? So there, like I said, there are lots of ISA companies out there, VA companies out there, but nobody is doing 30-day intensive training like we do. Now, ask me who's doing that training.
That actually, I was going to ask that. You didn't even have to ask me to ask it. I wanted to know, where's this training coming from? Because I bet there's a lot of agents that are like, I just want that training. No, who's doing this training? How are they learning?
So that training is done by by me, and my daughter, by yours truly right here. And what do we do in order to really my daughter and I are realtors first and foremost. So Global Solutions is built for realtors by realtors, right? We are boots on the ground, Robert. I am actually converting my phone appointments while I do all of this other stuff, right? All the, work for all these other, with all my other companies. I'm still converting. Still go back to basics. I still have these phone appointments, and my ISAs on the Janki Patel team are calling and setting those phone appointments for me because of what we teach them. Listen, there are scripts that are still basic scripts, setting phone appointment, basic scripts. But when it comes to circle prospecting, you have to go with the mindset of sharing something with them, giving them something, and then asking back something, right? So what are you giving them? You're giving them knowledge about the market in their neighborhood, or you're giving them information about, hey, I know you listed with another realtor. However, I did not have this buyer then, but I do now. I would love to go ahead and preview your property to see if it's a right fit for my client, right? So you're giving them information. You're not just continuously asking for the sale. Don't go with the mindset of, hey, I want that appointment. Build that relationship as my strong advice to everyone out there is that don't focus on conversions. Focus on building that relationship, because guess what? If not now, when they are ready, guess who they're going to call? You. So our ISAs are trained 30-day intensive training. They also get training on REDX, right? They also get training on circle prospecting, geofarming, and FISBOs. We don't have many here, expires, but we're beginning to see them, right? And so what is the script? Another thing I want to share really quickly, because I only have 30 minutes with you guys, but I also want to share something else, is how are you tweaking your scripts according to the shift of the market? So you see, our scripts did not work because we were getting a lot of voicemails in the beginning of the shifting market. Interest rates high, people don't want to talk to you. They're not ready to buy right now. They're going to wait until the market or until the interest rates go back down. Well, what are you saying to them? How are you delivering that message? Well, there's a couple of ways we do it, even to REDX leads. We actually even send them a text message because we have the phone numbers there, right? So we take them into our CRM and we text them, hey, we just wanted you to know, same thing. We wanted you to know we just sold 123 Main Street, right? You're giving them that knowledge. So yes, we do a lot of this. I have so much to share, but yes, this is what our ISAs do. They're really focused on building relationships, and so just chasing the appointment.
So a lot of our audience, obviously, this is the REDX podcast. So they are, if they're not actively prospecting, they're here to learn more about it so they can actively prospect. They're on the phones. They have some habits to be making the phone calls. When do you suggest that someone should consider having an ISA help them with that? So right now they're thinking, hey, I've been learning all the scripts myself. I feel confident about how I'm talking to people. So when do you suggest that someone says, hey, I'm going to go share that load with somebody else now?
I think when you are getting a lot of phone appointments and you're setting phone appointments and they're either with a lender or they're ready and you're sending them CMAs out, or you're going to visit and you see that you're working on your business instead of in your business, that is your time to really shift your mindset and say, I need help. I need leverage. And that's where Global Solutions comes in, is we teach realtors how to leverage themselves so they can work on their business. Right now, Robert, what I do is my ISAs dial, set the phone appointments, or transfer to my do a live transfer when needed to my director of ops or me. We convert the phone appointment, and then from there on, I don't do anything unless they're pre-approved. And who follows up? My admin team. Who follows up? My executive team follows up. And once they're pre-approved, guess what? I don't even send them properties. I just say, hey, hello, how are you? Hey, I see wonderful properties, whatever I want to say to them. I just do a quick text message to them. But who's sending them those properties? Those properties that they're very specific. You can put them on automation, right? You can put them on, hey, this is my second home. I know what I'm doing. I know where I want to be. Great, wonderful. But who's having those conversations? It's my admin team that does that. I only show up when they're ready to buy or sell their home, drop off the CMA, or go to the CMA appointment, get the contract signed, and then guess who takes over? My team does. So it's called leverage, right? I don't make the REDX calls. I focus on making sure I convert. I just did, I think about 2 weeks ago, went to this appointment. The seller said, I want to sell. We talked about numbers. He's ready to go on the market in about a week. So you as a realtor have to understand your job is to focus on your business instead of in your business. Everything else can be leveraged, even making circle prospecting calls, geofarming calls, anything to do with REDX, your ISAs can handle that. You don't have to be everywhere.
So if I was an agent considering saying, okay, I feel good about that and I'm ready to leverage, is that your first hire, or do you say transaction coordinator and then ISA, or an admin, or what? Like, is there an order that you have to the business? Is it different for everybody? What do you suggest?
I think it's different for everybody. My first hire was a TC and then an ISA, right? Someone income producing, someone who's going to handle my back end, right? So my TC was handling all the contracts, but my ISA was bringing in the business. So that's an income producing activity that I'm doing with them. And my TC was handling closing that. So that's also an income producing activity. So first focus on your income generation and income producing activities, and then you can hire wherever you see fit, like an executive assistant. And then from there, your database managers, we at Global Solutions has someone that handles your databases, right? So there's so many different variations of admins that we have. Actually, in reality, only 3, and our other company, Ascent, has the other 3. So we have separated the companies in terms of who is really focused on REDX, focused on your CRM, is a database manager with the ISA. I always combine them together because one needs to send the information and your ISA should be only dialing. Because if they're going to research and go into Vortex and do all of these other things into REDX, it's taken away time from dialing. So we always stay focused on the ISAs just dialing.
And we have a question from Lydia in the audience about ISA. She wants to know, are ISAs licensed realtors?
It depends on your state, really, Lydia. We don't here in California need licensed realtors to dial, and so many other states don't need it, but we don't, our ISAs are not licensed realtors.
And so does it depend on where the ISA is living or where you're making the phone calls, or?
Right. Really depends on where the realtor is based out of, right? Okay. I think in Canada, well, here's another thing. Some of the Canadian realtors said, hey, we need to have licensed realtors. But in Edmonton, there was a realtor that said, no, I can hire an ISA from your company. And they hired 2 ISAs from our company. And they love the phone appointments that are being set. So it just depends. You have to check the board.
Yeah. So you need to know your local, kind of the local regulations, your MLS, the state, what they say about your ISA, and then you can go from there on who you can use for ISAs.
Right.
All right.
Well, even now, I wanted to let you know this, Robert, the results that we're seeing, and I wish I could share that graph with you, but the results we're seeing, even in this shifting of the market, because we changed our systems, our processes, we're seeing in that one day that I changed my process, Robert, we saw 37 leads responding back to us.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's a good day.
That was a great day. Out of the 37, I, as a realtor, converted, had phone appointments with them. 17 of them are now with either lenders or, getting CMAs. So again, I'm not pushing them, yet I am focused on building my relationships with them, because if not them, then a friend, a relative, who knows, right?
Yeah. And I think, I mean, talking about leverage and growing your business in today's market, I do believe in some of the other podcasts that we've shared the same, is that looking ahead right now, there's great opportunity for the people that want to put in the work, that
Right.
are willing to get the leads, make the phone calls, make the appointments, and start leveraging their business, grow it to have a transaction coordinator, to have an ISA. And that opportunity exists because people will still buy and sell homes.
Exactly.
People are still getting married or getting divorced or having kids or downsizing or changing jobs or whatever it might be. It's still happening, and it will still happen all of 2023. And like you said, if not you, who? Because
Exactly.
it can be you. It will be you if you put in the work, right?
Exactly. And here with the shifting of the market, when I saw people, pulling out of really leveraging their business, I was really concerned of how they're going to survive the next 18 months, right? So if not you, then who is the key here? And if you cannot make those phone calls, or you're nervous about making those phone calls, or you just feel fear, then we have someone for you and you can replace that. But please prospect, because REDX always updates their data. I know that for a fact. And I know that, when we dialed REDX leads, we got results, but we didn't get them from the beginning. Why? Because we were in the mode of building that relationship, right? So when you focus on building the relationship, the business will automatically show up.
Right. And we've talked a lot about ISAs, and I said this at the beginning too, because I remember when I first was jumping on these conversations several years ago, that I said, "What is an ISA?" And we have a couple people saying, "Tell me what it is." And an ISA is your inside sales agent. It is the person. It is someone that you can hire to do these phone calls for you. Like when Janki says, when your business starts growing to the point that you need to fill your CRM and keep making phone calls, but your business has also grown to a point where you are at appointments, you're with the people as they are, as you're doing the CMAs and closing the deals. That an inside sales agent can be someone that continues to prospect for you while you are doing the other parts of the business that are bringing in the money, right?
Exactly. And that's where leverage comes in. See, the beauty of leverage is when you're really on an appointment, your team still continues to dial. That is the beauty of this, right? You can be on appointments, you can be at your child's daycare center picking them up, but the phone calls don't stop. So we call them inside sales assistants. They are truly your assistant. They are truly helping you build leverage, and grow. And they truly are doing that, because why? They're building your relationships for you. So when your buyers or sellers are ready, they're going to call you. And we had quite a few people, Robert. Just in the past week, we had 3 people call us back saying, yes, we're ready to buy now. Even though the interest rates are the way they are. Why? Because they understand what we're trying to do. And he literally said to me, I'm talking to a few different realtors, but what stands you guys apart more than anyone else is the follow-up and the consistent calls that I got, the consistent messages that you guys were constantly sending me. That's why I want to work with your team. And that felt good. There was another buyer who said to us, I get your newsletters. I love what I read. And this is from REDX, okay? I love your newsletters. I love what I read. When I am ready, I'm going to go ahead and call only you. And that felt good.
That's great.
Right? Yeah. So
that's good. Well, we are coming close to the end of our time, but I want to make sure, because I know you have, like, we talked about everything else that we could talk about. There's a lot more things we could talk about. I want to give you a last word of something that you want to share with the audience before we have to wrap it up.
Well, what can I share? ISA is the way to go. Prospect, guys. Don't stop prospecting, because if you don't have a closing in the next 30, 60, 90 days, you can't blame anyone but yourself, right? So if you're not focused on, and again, REDX is a great source for me, where, our ISAs dial from, and they do it every day. Either they're circle prospecting, geofarming, or even FISBOs or expires. We don't get much of that, but we do focus on circle prospecting. From the solds that we have, the sold listings that we have, or even, coming soon or pending. And when we dial the geographical farm of 200 or 250, there's something or the other that always comes out of it. So my last word to everyone out here is prospect, prospect, prospect. Be prospecting based and learning based, and see what happens, and leverage based, a new thing for 2023, to see how you can grow from just leveraging one person or two people to virtual assistants to help you grow.
I love it. And I agree. I agree that right now in particular, I think it's always true because you want consistent business. But right now, as the market is shifting, prospecting is going to get you business now, and more importantly, keep your business consistent in the future. You've got transaction ready people on FISBOs and expireds. And then as you geofarm, you have people that you're building your database. So when they're ready, they know who you are. And now's the time to do that. Janki, we have even more questions. People want to know about your CRM, your what you do at ISA. I'm going to post, Janki said we could do this. So we're going to post Janki's Calendly link in the comments. So on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching right now, that Calendly link is in the comments. She said we could share that with you, so you can click on that. Like I said, one thing I know about Janki is that she loves helping other people. And so you click on that link, set up an appointment. Janki, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for taking time out of a busy schedule during a busy time of year to share about what you've been able to do and what you've built over the last 10, 15 years. Incredible story. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us today. Thank you for hopping on and listening to the podcast. And we hope to see you here next week, same time, same place. You can check out and subscribe at redx.com/podcast, or find us on YouTube and subscribe there. And we will see you next week. Janki, huge thank you and goodbye. And we'll see everyone next week.
Yes. Bye for now.